EasyRL is a framework and desktop application that allows you to easily experiment with different reinforcement learning agents on different environments. The application allows you to easily tune hyperparameters however you want, train models, test them, save the results, and export data. This desktop application has many features, but our group project aimed to expand even further on this application by turning it into a distributed application and website that anyone would be able to access. When you access the new EasyRL Cloud website for the first time, you are presented with a login page where you are asked to enter AWS access keys and secret keys and an optional session token to log into an AWS account where we are able to deploy infrastructure on that account. This allows the billing for the application to be put on users more so than the host of the application. Once we log into the application, you are given a similar user interface to the desktop application where you can select different environments, different agents, what backend infrastructure you want to use, the preview of the environment, which is still loading, information about each of your selections, what agent you're using, the description of it, the same information about the environment, what the instance state is, what the specifications for the EC2 instance are, its lifespan, how much you currently have paid while hosting, the results of training, and you can tune your hyperparameters just like before. Once you log in, it takes a few minutes for the instance to boot and get going, so I'm just going to pause and come back when it is completed. Now that the instance is training, you can see the results of the training session come in live. The graph updates as new episodes are completed. You can see the reward of each episode, the loss, what the epsilon is at. You can see a little animation of the training process here in the middle. And you can scroll down and see the text results of all of these metrics. One of the brand new features to the EasyRL Cloud application that the desktop application does not have is the new continuous train button. This is a toggleable option that causes the application to automatically start and stop training sessions as different parameters are changed. So, if I wanted to change the environment to say cartpole discrete and change the agent to Sarsa, we can see that the instance state automatically starts changing the task without us having to hit the halt button or start training again. This applies to all the hyperparameters as well. We can see that epsilon is decaying like it should be here, but if we go down to the hyperparameters and turn the decay rate all the way to 0, we can see that the instance state changes the tasks once again, and we should be able to easily see on the graph that our epsilon value stays at a constant value of 1 across many episodes now. If you don't want this feature to automatically change the settings, you simply toggle off continuous training, and then you have to hit the train button once again to start training again. Alongside that, after the training session is finished, we will see that the instance returns to being idle instead of continually training again. Because our infrastructure is in the cloud and we're continuously paying for the instance, we thought it would be smart to have this option that maximizes the runtime of the application rather than letting the instance sit idle. But now that the instance is idle and that we have completely trained our model here, we can go up to the top options here. You can see we have basic controls to turn on and off continuous training, start training, halt the instance, start testing. We can start testing just by hitting the test button. And we can see that it's running a task once again. And the testing process looks a little bit different as you don't have the loss value shown. And then, now that our training is finished, we can also export the model by hitting the model drop-down box here and hitting export. And we can see that the file downloads and goes to our downloads, just like that, model.bin. The next aspect of the EasyRL application that makes it superior to the desktop application is the fact that you can have practically an infinite number of sessions going at once. On the desktop application, on a relatively moderately good computer, you would only be able to run 3, 4, 5 training sessions before the application gets slow or the entire computer gets slowed down. But because the cloud application uses dedicated infrastructure for every single job, we can have as many sessions as we want without having any noticeable slowdown. On the top right corner here, you can select which session you want to use, but if you just want to make a new session, you can hit the plus button, which opens a brand new tab, increments the session, and pre-selects the default parameters. And if you want another session, you can hit this button again, and it goes to session C, and you can hit it again, and you can have as many sessions as you want going at once. These sessions are brand new, so once again we'll have the waiting minute about to get the infrastructure booted and the process going, but we can customize these a little bit. So let's try pendulum with deep queue with the standard replay buffer here. In this other tab, let's do cart pull discrete again with basic queue learning. In this last tab here, let's do acrobat with a new agent. And we have a whole bunch of new agents. We have deep queue with the standard replay buffer, with prioritized replay buffer, hindsight experience replay buffer, all of this with DQRN and ADRQN. We have new models for MPG, DDPG, CM, SACT, TRPO, and Rainbow. So for this test, I will just choose NPG. And while all these are going, we can just switch back and forth between all of our tabs to see what's going on. So I'll once again fast forward so that we can see some results from these tests. While those other models are importing or being set up, another feature that you can do is you can import models for training. So this instance here is idle. What we can do is we can import a model just by hitting the import button here. A dialog box shows up where we can upload our file. This is the binary file that we downloaded earlier when we exported the SARSA model. We can upload this, and the upload will be successful, and then we can start training or testing again with this new model that we just uploaded. The model file gets uploaded to Amazon S3 and then imported into the agent. Now we also can see that our other models have gotten set up and are now running. This pendulum task here with deep queue with the standard replay buffer is going. We can switch over tabs and see our cart pull discrete with queue learning has finished an entire training session. Our NPG acrobat here is going. And our mountain car is not quite there yet, but it should be in a moment. One of the last final features of the EasyRL cloud application is that, say, you want to have more horsepower behind a model and you want an instance that has more CPU cores, more RAM, or even possibly GPUs. You can easily just change what instance you're using by changing the selection box here. Let's say we don't need quite as much power to do mountain car here, and there it goes. We can downgrade to a C4 large to make it so that we aren't paying as much. So if we just change the instance here, we can go on down and look at the instance state, and here in a few seconds we can see that the instance is now being recreated. So we automatically terminate the previously used instance and start creating a new one. So this demo showed all the main features of the EasyRL cloud application. There's a variety of environments that you can choose from, all compatible, a variety of new and existing agents, all here. Once you're done, you simply just hit sign out, and you are good to go. So that is the primary features of the EasyRL Cloud application. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and find the application useful once it is deployed.